Albert Pike has been accused of being a Satanist. Now, in his magnificent book, Esoterica, that our wonderful Grand Archivist of Freemasonry, Arturo de Hoyos, has put together and organized it so that it is presentable and has given us access to these magnificent thoughts and writings of Albert Pike, which we very much thank you, Brother Art. He has in here an address that Pike gave to the Masonic Veteran Association in 1890. Now, this was only 1 year before Pike died. The year before he died. Here's what Pike was telling the Masonic Veteran Association. Now that we are here come together once more, we are first of all to thank the giver of all good things to us who are here in the world. That we have lived through this last year unharmed, and the perils that lie always in wait for everyone in the world to take him unaware. In God I put my trust. Well, there goes the Satanist theory shot to hell. Was the first profession of faith of each of us, speaking as Master Masons, or Masons in general, I mean. When he first entered into the lodge room to be initiated, to that let us all, in whatever affliction and adversity, hold fast. Hold fast to believing in God. And that's going to be a Satanist teaching that? No. Lest losing that trust, we should thereby cease to be Masons, as all the Masons, if the obedience of the Grand Orient of France did when it expunged from its rituals every reference and allusion to a deity and invited avowed atheists to seek initiation in its lodges. In vain will any coiner of glittering phrases endeavor to persuade any true Mason to part with this faith, and to admit that no one can know that there is a God, the creator and preserver of the universe. This isn't Satan or Lucifer Albert Pike is talking about. There is only one creator and sustainer of the universe, as any of us know. That is who Albert Pike put his faith and trust in. That is who we as Freemasons put our faith and trust in. I speak as a Master Mason when I say I agree with that sentiment. I'm one Master Mason who definitely puts his faith in God. I will tout that, sure. Lest any of you want to vainly contend I also follow a Satanist because I have become a Satanist in the secret rituals of Freemasonry. Pfft. You know not what you say, if that's what you argue. Not at all. Anyway, the all is but the sublime, unbroken, and eternal march of causes and effects, denying the chaos of chance and the caprice of power. Even to that Freemason for whom the Bible is not the revealed truth, the material universe is the manifestation of its creator. The revelation as words reveal thoughts, and the intellect that thinks, of the divine unity of will, wisdom, power, dominion, and beneficence. All without beginning, end, or limit, and by this visible universe full of life and complex forces, we know it to be the effect of an infinite reason coupled with an infinite power, as certainly as we know by the spark and shock and the transmission of thought and sound that there is somewhat which we call electricity, of which these are the effects. We know that it is, and is competent to produce the known effects. But what it is totally unknown to us, as the nature of God is. We neither believe in chance, nor in the caprice of power, nor in the cruelty of nature, for we believe that the power of God is no more infinite than his wisdom and goodness are, and that its only function is to execute what his wisdom decides and approves. We are not deceived by the phrases, the sublime, unknown, and eternal march of causes and effects, for we know that all the forces of a soulless nature, unilluminated by a divine reason, could never create one principle of a moral law, and it is impossible for us to believe in a universe of matter without and uncontrolled by reason and intelligence. Humboldt, Huxley, Darwin, and other high priests of science, it is said, have displaced the theologians. But theology deals with questions entirely beyond the province of science. The Freemason will eschew all the idle babble of science that seeks to dispense with a God, and of the agnostic, that is, the ignoramus, who does not know whether there is a God or not. For us, the forces of nature are the varied action of God, and simple faith, we hold, is better and wiser than the vain philosophy or self-confident science. We hold fast to the faith that there is a deity, the author of all else that is, unto whom to be thankful and grateful for bringing us in safely through the dangers of life until now is not mere folly. Now, that's Albert Pike speaking a year before he died. Satanists do not advocate this kind of belief. Satanists do not advocate this kind of trust in the almighty creator of all things that is, as Pike noted. For someone to claim that Albert Pike is a Satanist is someone who is simply uninformed about Albert Pike, the man, and his beliefs. Now, Brother Art has put in several different excerpts here of various times and places where Pike gave speeches, discussions, and he was training and teaching the brethren, and it's in Appendix 4, and it's called The Faith of Albert Pike. De Hoyos notes on 299 that opponents of Freemasonry have leveled a myriad of confused and contradictory charges against Albert Pike's religious views. He has been accused of being an atheist. Yeah. All right, whatever. And evil, and even a devil worshiper. Yeah, that's as stupid as saying he's an atheist. He was, in fact, a Christian who frequently urged his fellows to follow the teachings and example of Jesus of Nazareth. And then he gives various brief accounts of Pike, who believed in a personal God to whom it was not folly to pray. Now, this is fascinating. It doesn't matter where you look in Albert Pike's writings. It is only by taking his ideas out of context. I've read his Morals and Dogma. I've read this magnificent book, Esoterica. I've read other writings of Albert Pike. I've read other writings of several other fellow brother Masons, Arturo de Hoyos, S. Brant Morris, some of the Rex R. Hutchins, some of the worshipful past masters, or the past worshipful masters, I should say. I've been reading the writings of Masons for a year and a half, and I find absolutely no evidence of Satanism in Freemasonry. I know, based on the actual existing evidence of Albert Pike's writings, that Albert Pike was not a Satanist. Albert Pike was a Christian. He advocated and inculcated the teachings, the philosophy, and the doings, the workings of Freemasonry very powerfully, because he even taught to work is to worship. God does not love idle hands. No Freemason should be idle in the work of carrying forth the light of peace, concord, and harmony among men. That is what Albert Pike taught, because that is what Albert Pike was.